Good evening, dear pupils. So this is our second part from the lesson Reported Speech. It is made from the Pro Abdullah Private School, and we are today Wednesday 26th January 2022. In the first part, we dealt with the reported speech. We explained what is a reported speech, what is a direct speech, what is the indirect speech, and reported the same thing. We explained what are the introductory verbs like tell, say. We gave some examples concerning the most important changes that we have to do when dealing with the reported speech. I've told you to insist and to know how to master the changes, the transformation from the direct speech to the indirect speech and vice versa. We can make the opposite operation, transforming from indirect speech to direct speech. So it is so easy. We just inverse the rule, if you want. In the first part, I gave you the table of tense changes, and we dealt with three tenses, or three tenses and three models. We dealt with the simple present, which become simple past, the present continuous, which becomes past continuous, future with will, which changes in a reported speech into would, and can and must models the transformation, how they are in direct speech and how they become in the indirect speech. I insist and I repeat, you have to know how to make these changes. You are asked for this in exams, on quizzes, on activities, etc. Okay, so now this second part is concerning the time and the place. I'm going to give you the changes concerning the time and places, pronouns and adverbs, and I'm going to give you also examples. So follow me. The first one is this. This. In direct speech, it is this. In the indirect speech, it becomes that. This is the first word. We are going to deal with these words in examples when we make the practice. These, which is the plural form of this, becomes those. Here becomes there, preposition of place. What else? Now becomes then. Today, that day, that day. Today, next we have yesterday. Yesterday becomes the day before. Yes, the day before. The day before or the previous day. Okay, let's write it. The previous day. The day before. Yesterday is the day before today. A week ago, or last week, changes to a week before. or the previous week. The previous week. So ago became previous. Last month, last year, last week, whatever, the month before. So last, it is transformed into before. Okay, the last one, next. Next year. So becomes the following year. The following year. Okay? When we say next year, next month, next day, whatever. The following year, the following day, the following week, whatever you have here for an example. These or those where the time and place changes. I repeat. When we have this, it becomes that. These, those, here, there, now, then, today, that day, a week ago, last week, a week before, the previous week, last month, the month before, next year, the following year. Example. We can give too many examples. We have thousands of examples. She said, don't forget the two dots. We open the squares. I work here. Look, this is a direct speech. We have she, so the concerning person, the subject, yes. We have the verb, the introductory verb, said, which is the verb to say. We opened the two dots. We opened the quote. I work here. So what is the verb here? Yes, the verb here is to work. We are going to make it into the indirect speech. And we say, we keep the first part as it is. The transformation starts now. She said that. She said that. We omit the two dots and the squares, the quote, and we replace them by that. Elle a dit que. She said that. So when she was talking, she said, I work. When I talk about her, I say, she. She said that. She. Work is in the present. In the present, simple present tense. And as we have seen on the first part, when it is present, simple present, when transforming into indirect speech, it becomes past simple, and the past form of work is worked, because it is a regular verb. It is a regular verb, we just add an ed. She said that she worked, and this word here, which is concerning with place, here, it is transformed into there. So she said that she worked there. Be careful. Be careful when you transform. We are concerned with the verbs, yes, sure, but don't forget the prepositions of place, of time. Don't forget the pronouns, and don't forget the word that. Okay? So this is an example concerning the time and place table and the changes. The second or the third title is concerning the pronouns, the personal pronouns. So we write here pronouns, okay, number 3. Pronouns. We keep the table, okay, in order not to waste time. I think we have just some examples. We are not going to make them all because you know them. And, okay, so the pronouns, when we say pronoun or the personal pronouns, you know them, I, you, he, she, it, we, etc. So even these personal pronouns need transformation from the direct to indirect speech. Okay, so I'm starting directly by example. She said, we keep, she said, I like ice cream. I like ice cream. Okay, I'm going to make the table more, I make it bigger, it is better, because here I am going to write sentences, okay? So I said, she said, I like what? Ice cream. Like you. I know that you like ice cream. Okay. Indirect speech. Okay, she said, I like ice cream. When we transform, she said that she, look, in the first part we have I, in the next part in direct speech it becomes she what? Liked ice cream. Oh. The problem of place, my table is so narrow. Liked ice cream. Okay? Sorry, lines are not straight. I repeat. She said, I like ice cream. Transformation, she said that she liked ice cream. Like, present, liked, past simple. Don't forget the verb tenses. He said, I like ice cream. I like ice cream. He said that, il a dit que, he, look, when he was talking, he says, I, this is a man, he. When transforming, he said that he, because I'm reporting what he have said. He said that he liked, like the first one, liked ice cream. Okay, he said my bag, look at this one. He said, open the squares, open the quote, my bag was stolen. Stolen. Okay? Transformation. He said that, look here, we have my. When he was talking, he says, my bag. Mon sac. Mon. My bag. When we transform, we say, he said that his bag. Son sac. Regardez. Faites attention à cette transformation. Look. My, your, his, her. Be careful. His bag was stolen. Stolen. Was stolen. And here is, not was. Is stolen. He said that his bag was stolen. So the verb here is present. It becomes was, the past simple. So here is the passive voice. Is stolen, the verb to steal. This is a passive voice. We don't care about this. We just emphasize on this verb. We are concerned with this part. Okay? So I'm not going to give you more than that in order not to make you confusing. Okay? I know that this lesson or this part of a lesson is a little bit complicated because it needs many changes that you have to master. So we are going to make them slowly, step by step. And the most important is to practice. In the third part, inshallah, we are going to deal with the practice part. Okay, now, number 4, I'm going to give you some reporting questions. So number 4, reporting questions. Even the question, we can need some changes into the indirect speech. Okay? Bye. Well, sorry. The first one, WH questions. The first one, WH question. You know what are the WH question? What, where, how, who, etc. We have that with this one. So WH questions. This is the rule. I'm going to write it. So we have WH question plus subject plus verb. This is the rule. You have to follow this rule. Example. Layla, open the squares. Look here. What are you doing? What are you doing? Question mark, since this is a question, and we close the squares. Transformation into indirect speech. Layla asked. Look, here we don't say Layla said. So even if we use said, it is correct, but the most suitable verb is to ask because she asked a question. So we say Layla asked me. Because when we ask someone. We don't ask, we talk just by like that. We ask someone. So she's talking to me, and I say, Layla asked me what, and we keep. Here we don't use that. We use the WH question by itself. What, we keep it. What? So Layla asked me what I are present continuous, was past continuous. What I was doing. So this is the transformation talking about when we talk about the reporting questions. Okay? Number 2. Yes, no questions? Do you remember what are the yes, no questions? Do you know what are they? When we dealt with them concerning the intonation, so we had the WH questions and we had the yes, no questions. If you have a good memory, so yes questions, yes, no questions are questions we start with an auxiliary, do, are, is, have, etc. We keep the same example of Layla. Layla, two dots. Are you happy? Are you happy? Layla. Transformation. We omit the two dots and we replace it by what? Sad. This is a question, look. This is a question. Asked. Because she is asking. Elle demande. تسأل. Layla asked. Asked whom? Asked me. She is talking to me. If we have are, it becomes if I were happy. Look, you are going to tell me where. Normally we say I was happy. But here where is concerning with Layla. Layla asked me if I were happy. Okay? Is concerned with Layla, not with me, not with the pronoun I. Okay, I think these are the most important one. This is the most important one. I am not going to give you more than that because it is a long lesson. We are going to make the activities in order to deal with this part that I have explained to you. On the next part, we are going to make practice. The most important part is with the practice. Okay? So, I said the pronouns, I told you how to make the changes into the concerning the pronouns. You keep the person who is talking. She, so she said I like ice cream. She said that she liked ice cream. You just keep the person who is talking and you make the changes. And concerning with the reporting questions, when we have the WH question, when transforming into the indirect speech, you omit the squares, the inverted comma, the square, the quotes, and you transform them not by the word that, but the WH question used. Like what? We keep it as it is. Layla asked me what I was doing, and concerning the questions, that's its answer is yes or no. The auxiliary questions, Layla, are you happy? So the answer is, or the transformation is replacing, not replacing the two dots and the squares by if, not that. Layla asked me if I were happy. So that's all for now. We are going to deal with the practice part in the next session, inshallah. So see you soon. Goodbye.